Hi, Scorpio rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 28th of April until the 4th of May. So, welcome back to my channel. I think you are in the middle of a significant shift. To understand where we are going, we have to recognize that internal rearrangement you have been undergoing. Last week, Venus met Uranus in your seventh house, the house of partnership, and you likely experienced a sudden disruptive aha moment regarding a relationship, a contract. You were pushed to detach from all dynamics that kept you feeling confined. And now Venus moved into the sign of Gemini, made a sextile to Neptune, a trine to Pluto and Juno, and a sextile to Saturn as well. So that's the continuation of last week. So the energy is shifting rapidly from the outer world of relationship to more of the inner world of shared resources and psychological complexes. You are being asked to take that new sense of clarity and apply it to the foundation of your life. So this is a transformative alignment with Venus in trine to Pluto and Juno. With Venus going through your eighth house, it's all about equality in a way when it comes to shared resources, intimacy, or looking at the psychological shifts connected to your relationship department. And maybe this is a activation of your personal power. You are digging deep into the hidden foundation of your life, looking at your relationship patterns, and maybe you are making a commitment. Maybe this commitment is about, okay, let's move together. Let's take the relationship to the next step. Maybe this commitment is connected to let's get married, for example. It's not just necessarily a romantic kind of like commitment, but maybe it's also about you making a commitment to your family, to your roots, to your living situation, or even your family legacy. But it feels like that you have been noticing that you had to be, or you have to be shedding the keep it private shield and stepping into a position where you can own your resources, for example. This is about hiding your assets. It's about controlling your own destiny. And maybe you have been avoiding a conversation about family finances, inheritance, or moving, but this is the day or week when you have to be able to talk about this. You have got really great instincts regarding shared assets. These are really sharp now. So this is also an invitation to trust your guts. Yes, but also, of course, sometimes paranoia and fear can dictate a lot as well. However, Venus is also making squares to the nodes, and they are sitting in your fifth and 11th house. So that's a tension point. And this is a tension between your personal creative joy and your social life or your collective responsibilities. So you might feel tempted to lose yourself in the needs of your network or your friends or with your long-term goals. And maybe you don't have enough time for creative joy or focusing on your personal projects or even to your romantic connections. So this is like when you have to be making a choice, and maybe it's going to be forced somehow by your partner. And this is the reason why we have to be committing to something. And maybe that's something connected with regularity. Now, Hebe enters your eighth house as well. And Hebe is the archetype of youthful service. So in your house of transformation, she says to stop trying to hoard your secrets or to keep things in. Try to approach them from a kind of like witty point of view, or it says to start looking at your intellectual resources that actually can serve others and potentially you can even make money out of them. Maybe you feel the stress of social debt. You have to pause a little bit. Instead of overcommitting to group projects, maybe you have to ask yourself how I can share what I know to help someone else. Hebe's energy brings this light but service-oriented touch to your eighth house, the house of research. So this is about you kind of like a little bit finding a way to stay not necessarily grounded, but playful, something that doesn't necessarily cost too much time, but maybe I can do with my family as well. Because remember, Venus was squaring the nodes as well, especially the North Node in the fifth house, which wants you to embrace joy and fun. But you might be saying, oh, yeah, but that costs too much money and so forth. Also, this is about, are you kind of like still guarding your secrets? You're afraid to share that with others. And maybe this is where you are going to be pushed so that you can talk about your psychological makeup also. Now, Mercury is making its very last conjunction to, or Mercury is making a conjunction to Chiron. It's in your sixth house, the house of work and health. Well, the sixth house is where you manage your daily grind. So this conjunction is meant to be a healing moment. You need to speak a truth about a health pattern, a workplace boundary issue, something that you have been keeping quiet, potentially to avoid conflict. But this is telling you that I've got the right to speak up about these things. The Mercury is moving into your seventh house, so you have hopefully fixed your routines. You are ready to fix your health as well. And now you are ready to communicate with others about it. This is brilliant for finalizing a contract, have a grounded discussion with a significant other. Once Mercury hits that seventh house, your mind becomes incredibly diplomatic as well as quite solid. So it's brilliant for certain type of discussions and arguments where you have to be able to kind of list in a way your concerns to someone or your show them your arguments. So this is a brilliant window to sign agreements or to set clear expectations in your relationship as well. Now, the moon is going to go out of bound in your second house, the house of possessions and money. So, this is really asking you to get real about your values. You might even feel this sudden urge to make a big financial move, to redefine what security means to you. Of course, it might be actually making you spend a lot more money as well, because an out of bound moon is a very erratic type of energy. We have got asteroid Shiva entering your sixth house this week too. We are getting tired of the Aries energies, right? It's a lot, but it's a transformative destruction. So this is trying to destruct your old inefficient habits or work habits. So it feels like that your financial instincts are hyperactive. Maybe there are quite a few sudden impulses to change your spending habits. But with Shiva in your sixth house, the real action is in your daily schedule. If a system at work isn't working, break it and build a better one. That's where we are destructing and then making something more efficient out of it. It's about you becoming the architect of your own efficiency. So be aggressive about cutting out the time wasters in your life, something that is slowing your efficiency level down. Of course, this might be also destruction in your health, which makes you or which is awakening you that you have to be doing something completely different. So you have done a bit of a deep dive in your roots and resources at the beginning of the week. And then now it feels like you are actually becoming a bit more social or focusing a little bit more on personal joy. And then landing on the weekend of a powerful financial move, or even you decide that, yes, this work is actually draining my physical vitality, so I'm going to be moving on. I think the universe is asking you to get serious about how you spend your time and your money. It's about you building a container that is finally large enough for your ambitions. And finally, eventually, you can even get noticed for it. It feels like you have got some fears around it, but don't let the fear of being exposed hold you back. So keep your focus on your long-term goals, and I will see you in the next forecast. Take care. Bye bye.